Hi everybody, here's a video to show you how to take through Design Space the new SVGs to create these lovely night lights, which are lanterns filled with LED lights on a string, so they don't create any heat, so they're perfect for using in a cardboard lantern like this. They're based again on the original lantern and the Soul lantern from that very popular video game that I love to play, and millions of others do too. You get files for both the blue one and the orangey one, the Soul Lantern and the original one. They're almost identical. It's just that the blue one doesn't have that extra line of glass at the top, so that's just a solid black piece there. I will give links to where I bought my lights in the Etsy listing in case you're looking for them. But basically all you need is any kind of string LED lights, ideally that run off a USB plug. The ones I got run off a USB, as you can see there. So um, they're just very economical to run in that case. You've no batteries to buy or worry about running out. Okay, let's go to Design Space and see how it goes. I've just this minute updated this, so I hope it doesn't throw any curveballs out. Right, I've already brought the files into my library, so we'll bring in the cut file for the original lantern, the orangey, the one with the shades of orange in the windows. Every piece you need to make the file, apart from the PNGs, comes in one SVG, and it looks like this, which looks a bit daunting, and it is big, but it's really easy to deal with. So you bring it onto your canvas. It's automatically selected, so just click ungroup straight away. I'm on the desktop version for PC, so for me ungroup is over here at the top of the layers panel, which I always have open. Once that's ungrouped, you can see the two subgroups within it, and with my SVGs, any lines that you need to convert to scores always live in that first group. So just click on it, go to your operations menu, choose score from the drop down, and you can see that they've all been converted now. While it's still selected, ungroup it, and then that group disappears. And then select the group underneath that's got all the cut pieces in it and ungroup those. So now everything on canvas is a separate piece, and we can attach the scores to the individual pieces that they relate to. Quickest way to do that, click on canvas somewhere near a piece, drag a box to enclose it, and attach, which for me is at the bottom of the layers panel. You do get a PDF of very detailed instructions with these projects, even though they're actually, for something I think that looks so lovely and complex and hardly handmade really, it's super easy to make. And there's, as always with my SVGs, you get a diagram right at the beginning of those instructions where every part of it is labelled, so it tells you exactly what it is. So when you're working through the instructions, if I name a part and you think, what on earth is she talking about, you just need to look at page 1 and the name of it will be on the diagram. So just to quickly run through it, this is the little handle at the top of the lantern. If we just go back here, it's that tiny rectangular hollow box almost. Those two parts make that. This, you can't see it on the photographs, but it's actually a pillar which is inside the lantern, and you wrap the string of LED lights around it so that you get a nice even glow within your lantern. I did try just stuffing the lights in there at first, but some hit the glass or the wall, and it's not a uniform light, whereas if you wrap it, if you make this pillar and wrap your lights around it, it's a lovely even glow throughout the windows. That is part of the top assembly of the box. That's the base of the box. This we're going to use for the print and cut for the glowing part at the top of the original lantern. I'll just go back. This part here, let me find one where it's lit up. There. The blue one doesn't have this extra little window glass part at the top, as I call it, but the orangey one does. This is that tiny little block at the top there. Oh, did I attach that? Yes, I did. and that is a wall which either makes the front or the side. This one is different. You can see it's got that little hole, and that's where your cable sneaks out at the back. I think I've got a picture of that. I can show you that as well. Keep going. There, you can see there's a hole in the back wall, and that's where your USB cable goes through. Okay, so that's the back wall. We only need one. This, oops-a-daisy, I didn't attach it. There we go. This is the side and the front, so we need 3 of these, obviously. It's a 4-sided lantern, so duplicate it so you got 2 and then 3. And everything else, you only need the pieces as many as they are already given in the SVG. Okay, so let's, oh yeah, before we can click make it, right, we need to bring in, this is, I didn't attach that either. Too much chatting. Have I done that one? No, honestly. I'm not teaching you anything there, am I? Right, so this is, as I mentioned before, that little glowing piece that exists at the top of the lantern. We need to make it a print then cut, so we need to use the print then cut artwork for that piece. And it's there, but I'm going to bring it in from scratch so you see exactly how to do it. So there we are. It's called Lantern Top Glass. Obviously it's not glass, but it is really. It's supposed to be glass. So I'm just going to cancel, do that again, so I'm actually talking through it rather than just bringing it in. So you navigate to where it is on your system, press open. At this window, choose complex. At the next window, don't do anything. It's perfect as it is. It's ready to cut. So just click apply and continue. And then yes, it's a print then cut image. So there it is in your library. Add it to canvas. Did it twice, didn't it? There. Right, so it goes with this piece here. And I have made it the right size at 300 dpi, but as you can see, Design Space is still giving you this low resolution message. I don't know why it's doing that. I made these myself. I know that the 300 dpi, so please just ignore that message. It seems to do it with everything I work with. Even if I bring something in which is 30 centimeters square at 300 dpi, I get that low resolution message. So I think it must just be a glitch. They print beautifully. So it's going to go with this cut piece here. So we're going to get the size it should be. PNGs rarely come in at the right size. So we're going to get the correct size from the cut piece. So if we just select it and then look at the width box up here, it should be 21.658 centimeters. So I'm going to select the PNG now, 21.658. And if you just hit return, it's a square piece anyway, but it just sets the height automatically. So now we'll select the PNG and the cut piece, which is already attached to the scores, if you remember. We're going to align them horizontally and vertically. And then in our layers panel, we can see which bits I've selected there. It's showing us the cut piece, which is attached to the scores. And if I open it up, you can see it there. And it's showing that we've attached we've selected the PNG as well. So now in the layers panel, I'm just going to select the original cut piece, that creamy coloured cut piece, and I'm going to delete it because we don't need it. And then I'm going to click on the PNG in the layers panel. I'm going to drag it underneath the score lines. And because I've dragged it into that little attached group, that means it's already attached. I think that's the easiest way of doing it. There are few other ways of doing it. You can just select things on the canvas and send them to back and then reattach, but that's how I do it. So that is the little top glass, as I call it. Now we need to bring in the glass walls, which stick to the back of these black cut walls. I do recommend that you cut at least through print then cut the one that's got the hole for the cord, because you're just going to get that nice neat cut out. But if you don't want to, just take it into any other app you've got from which you can print PNGs, I'm going to go back and do that properly like I should have done. So at this window, click complex and continue. Don't do anything here. That will already cut out that little hole. You can see it's transparent. Only click apply and continue. And then yes, it is a print then cut. Now these, I've actually got that written down in the instructions somewhere, but let me just quickly grab my book. Yeah. When you bring these into Design Space, there it is, they should be 14.7 centimeters wide. So just select it, go to your width menu, type in 14.7 and tab or return, and it sets the height automatically. Now when I cut pieces on the Cricut and they score, I fold mine to enclose the score. I think you get a much neater finish that way. I've seen some people fold it the wrong way so that the score ends up on the outside of the box. But if you look at Cricut's website, it does tell you actually to fold and enclose the scores that you make. That's why the hole is on the separate side. Wow, that's a little bit glitchy today. That's why the hole's on the separate side, as you can see. That's because when I cut this, it actually comes out, let me do this, that way round. When I folded it, it would be that way round, and so that would then stick on the back of there and those holes would line up. So when you're making yours, either fold it the same way as I did or flip this piece before you do it. But if you already know that when you're making things, you fold things with the scores on the inside, do it exactly as I've done it, because that's how I done it and that's the way it works. So that one is for the back wall. You just need one of those. And now we're going to bring in the one that's for the front and the side walls. So this is called Original Lantern Glass No Hole. Complex at this window. Nothing to do here, just click apply and continue. Bring it in as a print and cut. Add it to canvas. And this one also needs to be 14.7 wide. So I'm typing 14.7 and tabbing across to the height one, and that's automatic. And these, we need 3 of them because we've got 3, a front wall and 2 side walls. As I started to say, if you've got an app like Publisher or something, and you can just print these from Publisher, you can do that, and you can cut that little hole out that doesn't print with your craft knife, because it will actually get hidden behind the black. And obviously it's a lot quicker to do it that way, isn't it? Print it from Publisher, trim it with your craft knife because it's only straight edges. But if you don't have another app you can print from, print it from Design Space and do them as print and cut. They'll fit on A4 or A3 if you do 2 at a time. So let's assume you don't have another app. Ignore these yellow triangles, by the way, it prints beautifully. So let's hit make it and we'll talk about what to do. I don't need to save it. So you can either do these on A3. In fact, this one, this top lantern piece, if you make the project at the size it's intended, you've got to print that on A3. Or will it let you choose tabloid? It will. Good. I like it when that happens. So if you're in the US, you can choose tabloid. If you're in Europe, choose A3. So yeah, for that top glass, you need A3. But we can talk about how you might be able to get round not using that top glass when we look at the blue, the soul lantern. So yeah, so if we accept that to do this file as I've designed it, you need to be able to print and cut on A3 if you want to use that top glass. You're going to have 3 sheets of A3 to print and cut. And then under here, these pieces will all cut from A4 or letter. So if you were going to use A4, you'd need 10 pieces, but then this piece, the pillar for the inside, it is optional. I'm saying optional. I think you get a much better result if you do use it. You'd have to cut that, ideally from something white. You could cut that from 12 by 12 or A3 if that's what you're using. It's too big for tabloid. So if you're in the US, you're going to need a sheet of 12 by 12, maybe white, maybe cream, something light that's going to reflect the light from those little LED lights. And as I said, all the other black parts of the lantern, you can also cut those from letter. So yeah, apart from that, or did I say you can? Yeah, you can use tabloid grit. So yeah, this is fully makeable in the US with US paper sizes. And let's just show that with letter. If you're using letter, you need 11 sheets, it says. I wonder though. Yeah, it probably would have put those on there if they would fit, wouldn't it? Yeah. So if you've got tabloid, if you can cut from tabloid or A3, it is a slightly more economical cut for this thing, I think. Or is it? Yeah, because even though it's put some things like that, you're going to be able to twist things around and swap them from mat to mat and get a better layout than Design Space has given you. Much better, in fact. I won't do it now because I know people have told me that it just gets a bit tedious when I do that all the time. If you want me to show you how to move it around on the mats, please come back to me and I'll make a special video just for you on a private listing. But I've been asked to stop doing that in my videos because people find it a little bit tedious, which I understand. If you already know what you're doing there, you don't need somebody showing you how to do it. So basically that's the original lantern. Everything will cut from tabloid or A3 if we're talking about this piece, and all the rest of it cuts from letter or A4 for all the actual cut pieces, apart from this, which needs a sheet of 12 by 12. That is optional, but I really recommend that you do it. Your lantern will work without it, but you get a much better result from the point of view of the lights inside it. Right, so that's the original lantern with the orangey yellow glass pieces, as we call them. So I'm not going to cut it, so we'll delete all that and we'll bring in the other one now, which is the soul lantern. It's crafted from things in the nether, I think, this one. So we'll add this to the canvas. There are fewer pieces because it doesn't have that top glass. So if you can't print then cut on big sheets of paper, if you can't print then cut on A3 or tabloid, you could make this top instead and use your original orangey sidewall windows, and avoid using that top glass. So that's just worth bearing in mind. Don't think you can't make the original lantern, because you can. You'll just use the pieces from the top of the soul lantern to do it. So again, it comes in automatically selected. Start by ungrouping it. Now you can see the two subgroups inside, and with my SVGs, that top one always contains the lines that we need to convert to scores. So click on it to select it, go to your operations menu, choose score, and while they're still selected, ungroup them, and then that group disappears. Select the group underneath that's got all the cut pieces in it and ungroup that, and so now we can attach score lines to individual pieces. If you remember, these two little pieces make the handle on top. This is the back wall with the hole cut out for the cable. This piece makes 3 front and side walls. This is the black top. I'll just go back and show you a picture of that. There, you can see this one just has a solid black top. There's no reason why you couldn't use the SVG for the soul lantern, but just put the orangey windows in it if you don't want that top glass. It cuts that step out, and it means you don't have to do a print then cut on any larger than letter or A4 if you don't want to. Did I attach that? Yes, I did. And that one. That makes the top assembly. It fits over this one. You'll understand that when you get your PDF of instructions. Have I attached that? No. Right, so again, the front and side walls, we need 3 of those. I've just used Control D on my keyboard to get those. Again, we'll bring the other blue walls in. There it is, soul lantern. Bring the one in with the hole first. Complex at this window. Do nothing here except click apply and continue. And yes, it is a print then cut image. And like the original ones, it needs to be 14.7 wide. Obviously the lanterns are exactly the same size, and the reason those holes don't match up is because, as I explained, when I cut, I fold to enclose the cuts, so when I'd finished that piece it would be reversed in real life. Using it, I'd be looking at the wrong side of it there. Okay, so that's the piece for the back. Now we need to bring in the wall, the glass for the side walls and the front. So again, you just navigate to where it is on your system, click open, complex at this window, do nothing here, just apply and continue, and then yes, it's a print then cut image. Add it to canvas, and just like the others, it needs to be 14.7 wide, 14.7 in your width box, and tab over and it sets the height automatically. And we need 3 of those, so duplicate it once and twice. So now we've got 4 pieces to print and cut. So it's very similar to the other one, you're just missing that extra print then cut piece because there's no top glass in this. So if you wanted, you could choose letter or A4 to do print then cut for those side walls. For this again, this top piece, it does need to cut from something bigger than A4 or letter, so you'd need tabloid to cut that piece. So let's just choose tabloid for the whole project in case that's what you do. And if you did that, you would need 5, 6, 7, 4 sheets of tabloid for that. And then the optional pillar inside, optional but I really recommend it, you need 1 sheet of 12 by 12 in the lightest colour you've got. Okay, so if you wanted to print all the rest of it though, say you chose, say you only wanted to do that from a sheet of tabloid, if you've got card that's in the same colour and you don't want to use tabloid for any other reason for the other bits, let's just click here. We can choose A4 or letter, as you can see, just like we could before. So if you want to choose tabloid for that and you need to put it on its own, select it, find the original cut piece in the, let's make it more obvious. In the layers panel, select it there so you don't need to unattach it again to select it. And now we'll click make. And I'm going to choose, just for argument's sake, A4. It will work on letter as well, as I said. For that, I'm going to choose A4 for all the black cut pieces. Then with this one, you're either going to choose tabloid or A3 or 12 by 12. And for this piece, you would also choose 12 by 12. I generally cut everything from A3, which is why I tend to talk about the paper you can use a lot, because I always use long mats in the A3, even when I'm cutting things that will fit on A4, just because I tend to buy my card in A3, it's cheaper. And the stuff I really like to use nearly always comes in A3. So I hope that helps. I'm not going to cut it because I'm knee deep in these lanterns. In fact, I need to start giving them away. It's really not a difficult project, this one. You do need to be painstaking to get a really nice joins and really sharp corners on this, but it's not difficult. I'm sure you've got somebody in your family that would love this lantern. I wish I did. They've all grown up now. My son would have loved this, but I'm loath to part with these. I think I might find somewhere for them in my own house. If you have any issues when you come to cut or assemble it, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can contact me on Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer, and the links to do that are in the description below. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description below. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.